Energy. It has sparked human curiosity and ignited progress. It has propelled the course of human history, empowered invention. Its current flows through our foundations and defines our soaring skylines. For decades, production system, energy infrastructure, consumer markets, and government policy have continued to rely on the same fossil fuels that drove this growth for centuries. It's clear that energy has driven modern society. Today, it has never been more clear that society must drive the future of energy. We know that the policy decisions we make today hold immeasurable consequences for the world we share tomorrow. So where do we go from here? The Kleinman Center for Energy Policy at the Weitzman School of Design endeavors to create the conditions for policy innovation that support a just and efficient transition to sustainable energy.
Pioneering.
Courageous.
Pivotal.
Anticipatory.
Collaborative.
Adventurous.
Bold. Interwoven.
About 10 years ago, I really saw that young people cared about the topic of the energy transition, but it wasn't a front of the newspaper topic yet. So I felt it was incredibly important to establish the Energy Policy Center at Penn to address some of the core issues and core research on this in a nonpartisan way.
The world's energy issues are enormous and complex. The stakes could not be higher. They require the best of Penn. The Kleinman Center for Energy Policy is central to Penn's strategic plan for the future and to a more sustainable world. With Scott Kleinman's vision, philanthropy, and engagement, the center highlights the impact of climate change and the implications for how we live and work. It informs meaningful policy and develops energy leaders.
The university's strategic framework, which we call In Principle and Practice, represents a definitive commitment to supporting and recruiting the best minds, fueling initiatives that advance understanding and promise solutions, and adopting best practices for the sake of our future and that of the planet. The Kleinman Center for Energy Policy is a bold declaration of this commitment, and it is a commitment Scott Kleinman shares.
The Kleinman Center for Energy Policy stands out not just for the quality of its work, but also for its interdisciplinary approach to that work. A successful energy transition calls for collaboration at the broadest scale.
We wanted to learn about the energy policy landscape. We wanted to see the targets of opportunity. We wanted to truly listen to our peers and our colleagues about what they thought was needed next and beyond.
I am so proud of the people at the Kleinman Center, who for the last decade have consistently showed up every day in pursuit of a vision that starts and ends with a sustainable energy system. The Kleinman Center has successfully recruited 3 of the best and brightest faculty to Penn: Jen Wilcox in engineering, Shelley Walton at law, and Sonia Carley in design. I'm just beginning with a team of scholars where we're working with PhD students and undergraduate students and master's students to study large-scale solar siting and community engagement during the siting process. Engaging students in research projects is absolutely fundamental for their development. It also is so instrumental for helping the faculty advance their research agendas.
Before I knew anything about the Kleinman Center, I took a class called Societal Grand Challenges. It was my first exposure to energy policy or energy work at all, and I really opened up my mind to a whole different way of thinking about climate change and sustainability, and totally changed my academic career.
At the national level, the Kleinman Center was one of the founding institutions that set up a nationwide network of university energy policy centers that consists now of about 50 such organizations, and we've played somewhat of a leadership role in that since its beginning.
The Kleinman Center also continues to bring Penn to the global stage. For example, helping to spearhead for years Penn's participation in the annual UN climate change conferences. More than 24 delegates from the university shared their expertise at COP28 in Dubai, where for the first time, all countries agreed to transition away from fossil fuels. The Kleinman Center for Energy Policy leverages that global reach to support monumental advancements toward the greater good.
We recognize, above all, that our energy future must be interwoven with social and economic factors if that future is going to be truly sustainable.
Now more than ever, I think some level-headed and thoughtful research and expertise is needed by those people who are making decisions that will really affect not only the next 10 years, but the next 30, 50, 100 years.
The Center is a catalyst for change. We are accelerating Penn's interdisciplinary pursuits and leading on great challenges. As we celebrate the Kleinman Center's 10th anniversary, the work done there is more consequential than ever. Thanks to the Kleinman Center, the world's future looks that much brighter.